Every year I say 8 days is not enough to enjoy this delicious tradition. Happy Hanukkah to you. What I want to do is teach you how to make classic latkes and delicious homemade applesauce. And I promise you, it's easy. Okay, you're gonna take a Braeburn, a Jonathan, an apple that's gonna kind of break down easily. You're gonna peel it. You're gonna chop it up, and then you're gonna take your one pot, dump those 4 or 5 apples into that pot. Take some apple cider, a little lemon juice, brown sugar, and of course, the true magic to homemade applesauce, Clubhouse apple pie spice. It's about 2 teaspoons, so you're really gonna wanna go to town on that. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and put it on the stove for about 20-25 minutes on a medium heat. If it gets too hot, you're gonna start caramelizing the brown sugar. Not ideal. We just wanna soften the apples and reduce the moisture a little bit. While that's going, the fun begins. You're gonna take hash browns, 2 eggs, about a 1/4 cup of matzo meal. Now matzo meal is basically just ground up matzo crackers. If you don't have matzo crackers, you could technically use any other dry, basic wheat cracker or white cracker. A small onion, white onion. You can grate your onion. I prefer it chopped. I think it adds more flavor to your latke. A little baking powder, and then Clubhouse, black pepper, and garlic powder. All right, so from here, you're gonna make sure the oil in your cast iron pan is hot. How are you gonna know it's hot? Put a little water on your fingers, flick it into the pan. Now that is a little too hot, so we're gonna turn it down. How I know is because the water immediately started popping and boiling and going crazy. I want the oil to be hot, but not burning, so I turned it down to maybe a medium-high heat. While that cools a little bit, I'm gonna start mixing the latke mixture. You really wanna make sure that the eggs get on every part of the potato, because that's what's gonna bind it and hold it together with the matzah. Good. Once it's ready, you're gonna take your spatula and your spoon, and of course your little magic hands. You're gonna press the latke into a ball. What that does is it makes sure that the potatoes are all kind of pushed together nicely. And then you're gonna use your spoon to lower it into the oil. Okay, and again. Right. One more. All right, now that they're in, use that spoon. Push them down. While these little potato miracles are frying up, I'm gonna double check on the applesauce. Oh, this is what the holidays is supposed to smell like. The apples are still a little bit firm, so I'm gonna give them some more time. These are browned up, ready to be flipped. When you flip, always flip away from you. And use 2 things, because the potato pancakes are a little bit delicate. You wanna kinda guide them over. Oh, heaven, yes. All right. These are perfect. Before you flip them, there's 2 ways to check that your pancake is ready on that side. Number 1, by sight, making sure the edges are nice and brown, like a dark brown. And number 2, by smell. A potato latke has a very specific, delicious smell. And you should really be able to smell the onion and the potato kind of cooking and frying up. These look glorious. I cannot wait to share these with myself. All right, well, those are finishing cooking on that side. I'm gonna show you a quick trick with your applesauce. So I made these earlier, and what you can do is if you don't have a food processor, because not everybody does, just take a potato masher, and as long as they're soft enough and the moisture's been reduced, you can make a really cool home-style chunky applesauce. The reason why I usually like to food process my applesauce for latkes is because I like that smooth texture to kind of lay over the latke and fill all the nooks and crannies. But whatever, if you have a potato masher, it's great. I really think the potato latke is perfect the way it is, but you can have some fun with your homemade applesauce. So a ginger maple or a cinnamon vanilla or the apple pie spice is great, but something to add a little bit of flair or your own personal touch to the homemade applesauce. Meanwhile, leave Bubby's recipe alone. Okay, these are ready to drain on some paper towels. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your fried potato latkes and just let them rest and let any excess oil drain off. Don't overhandle your latkes. They are delicate, relatively speaking. So 1 flip each and just take your time laying them out. Give them space. Latkes are best shared. So I've made some ahead of time and I'm gonna take my homemade applesauce and these beautiful crispy latkes and prepare them for my guests. Check out the links below and subscribe to get the full recipe and any tips and tricks you might need to make your traditions last forever.